Hello, I'm Caede, your guide. I'm here today at a very nice temple, Kencho-ji, although it's a bit far from the center of Kamakura. Kencho-ji was the first Zen temple in Japan, built in 1253 by Hojo Tokiyori. He was working as an assistant to the shogun at the time, but was actually almost in control. If he hadn't been in control, he wouldn't have been able to build such a magnificent temple. It is said that Tokiyori was kind to the farmers and was an avid believer in Zen Buddhism. Zen is a word that is used all over the world now, isn't it? Did you know that it originated from Japanese? In Japan, this word is only used to talk about temples and Buddhism, but in other countries, Zen is used to describe a calm state of mind, right? Apple's Steve Jobs, filmmaker Michael Moore, and even Phil Jackson, the coach of Chicago Bulls when Michael Jordan was there, were big fans of Zen. So, what kind of temple is a Zen Buddhist temple? Zen Buddhism is a sect of Buddhism that practices Zazen meditation. All people have the mind of Buddha inside them, and in order to rediscover it, it is necessary to practice Zazen to unify the mind and reach the state of enlightenment. Some people say that they feel calmer when they do Zazen, so Zen temples also offer Zazen experiences. Back in the day, temples were a place to learn Buddhism, of course, but they were also a place to learn about the latest culture and technology from China, similar to a university today. It is said that there were as many as 1,000 monks practicing Buddhism at Kencho-ji at its peak. So at that time, it was many times bigger than it is now, and there were baths and so on. The first gate you pass through when you arrive is the main gate, which was built in 1783 at a temple in Kyoto, and then moved to Kencho-ji in 1940. If you look up, you can see a large plaque. It reads Kofuku-san, which means I will give good fortune to those who come. Let's bow and go through. After the reception desk, you will see a large gate, the Sanmon or mountain gate. It's 30 meters tall, almost as tall as a 10-story building. The first gate burned down, and the gate was rebuilt in 1775 with donations. Can you see that this gate is 2 stories high? It's not open to the public, but there are many Buddha images enshrined on the second floor. In Japanese, the words for mountain gate and 3 gates happen to have the same pronunciation. In ancient times, Sanmon was usually written as 3 gates, but since the Heian period, when many temples were built in the mountains, the word came to be written as mountain gate. The reason why the 3 gates are called Sanmon is because it means that in order to be free from the 3 worst human traits, desire, anger, and stupidity, you must pass through this gate. So be sure to pass through this gate. There is a bell right next to the salmon. Unfortunately, none of the buildings in Kencho-ji from the time of its founding have survived. The only thing that has remained is this bell, which was made in 1255 and weighs a whopping 2.7 tons. It is a national treasure. When you go back to the approach to the temple, you will see large and unusual trees on both sides of the path, right? This is a Byakshin, a member of the cypress family. It is said that the Chinese monk who introduced Zen Buddhism to this temple brought the seeds from China and sowed them when Kencho-ji was built. So the trees are about 750 years old. It is said that Kencho-ji has been hit by fires many times, but only these trees survived. Only the temple bell and these trees have seen the long history of this temple, haven't they? The berries from the Byakshin are generally used to flavor gin and tonics. At the end of the approach with the Byakshin trees is the Buddha Hall. As the name suggests, it's a building to enshrine Buddha, but the statue here is of a Jizo Bosatsu, not Buddha. I wonder why. Actually, the place where Kencho-ji is built used to be a place for the execution of criminals. So before Kencho-ji was built, a temple with the Jizo Bosatsu as a main image was built here for the posthumous salvation of those who were executed. It is said that the same Jizo statue from the old temple has been made into the main statue of Kencho-ji. This statue is said to have been created around the 15th century. The building has lost some of its color, but the carvings in the back, like the ones on the structural beam, are incredibly beautiful. I wonder how gorgeous it must have been when the colors were still there. The Buddha Hall burned down several times, and the current building was originally built at the Zojoji Temple in Tokyo to enshrine the soul of the wife of the second Tokugawa shogun when she died, and was moved to Kencho-ji in 1647. No wonder it's so gorgeous. It is also the place where monks and ascetics gather early in the morning for times a month to chant sutras. Kencho-ji is a very large temple. In the next video, let's go to the Hansobo on the top with me. See you soon!